The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 22nd day of January 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio is going to be with us a bit to let us know what's trending, and then back a bit later with an extended news break, as always, on a Monday morning. I just want to give a shout out. So we're supposed to have one of my colleagues join me this morning, but, you know, if it's not one of us that's down with something, it's another. So just wishing a speedy recovery to all of those, not just my colleagues who are dealing with the various things going around. I guess this used to be called flu season. And as I was recovering last week and I was in the ER, they said, you might as well not just call it flu season anymore, because there are a number of things so many people are down with. It's just like, you know, this time of year is just when you expect people not to be 100% healthy. So I just want to say to everyone, honestly, be safe out there. Don't be shamed for wearing a mask and protecting yourself and others. I after my recent incident, I honestly will be taking precautions, because it's nothing like feeling sick. And no matter how healthy you believe you are, how healthy you eat, we just don't know. We just don't know. So take care of yourselves, protect those around you who you love. And just be cautious, and don't let anyone shame you for what you believe you're doing to protect yourself and your loved ones. So stay healthy. Wishing everyone who is a bit under the weather, including my colleagues, more health, better health, and happier days ahead. Before we jump in, folks, how was your weekend? Did anybody do anything fun this weekend? I tried to hit Maya up yesterday, right? I was like, hey, Maya, because I was distracted all week. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm gonna tell you something about that I did on Friday, but I didn't grow up in Bermuda. I didn't grow up watching like the NFL. I didn't grow up watching American football. It was boring to me. It was like stop, go. I believe the NFL is a reason that so many suffer from attention deficit disorders, because it's like you play and then there's a break. You play, then there's a break. It's just growing up in Bermuda, it was tough. Anyway, long story short, I've been in this country half my life at this point. I'm very much into the NFL, and I've been distracted watching playoffs. So I hit Maya up yesterday. I'm like, hey Maya, do you watch the American version of football? She just gives me like this no. I'm just like, well, I can't even talk to her about it. And once, I knew my colleague was out this morning, I'm like, who am I going to talk to about, the NFL this weekend? Anyway, long story short, I'm in Boynton Beach, Florida, so it's only right that I cheer for the quarterback who's from Boynton Beach, and that's Lamar Jackson. So I'm going with the Ravens for the rest of it. Some exciting games this weekend. Detroit Lions. I just watched the documentary, because you all know I watch TV now since the turn of the year. I'm trying to relax a bit more and watch some, Amazon Prime and Netflix. So I watched the Barry Sanders story, and I'll encourage anyone, whether you're into sports or not. There were so many life lessons in what he did. He was a very shy guy, probably the best you've ever seen as a running back in the National Football League, but he was very shy, didn't want the limelight. He just wanted to play sport, and he walked away, just retired at the height of his career, and said nothing outside of sending a fax. So he was a Detroit Lions player. I mean, this team was winless not too long ago, and now they're heading to the championship round with a one victory away from the Super Bowl. So you love those stories. So that's what I did this weekend. What did you do? Anything exciting? Does anybody else watch the NFL? Any 49ers fans in the house or Kansas City Chiefs? The other thing I did, folks, and we had a survey, and I want to go to that survey. We had a survey. It was on the Daily Hour Twitter, and that survey basically asked, do you have cable TV? Do you have cable TV? Audience, answer that question. Do you have cable TV? And so, quick story, and don't judge me like all those folks on Twitter, but I canceled my cable on Friday because I realized the only thing I really watched on there, I can watch on subscriptions. I have T-Mobile, so as a part of T-Mobile, I get Netflix and Apple TV, right? And then I've had Paramount, which is CBS, all this time, paying $7 a month because that's when I used to follow Manchester United and watch them in the Champions League. I've had Peacock, right? Again, to watch the Premier League. The only one I didn't have was Disney, ESPN, and Hulu, right? So I got that for like 17 months. So I looked at my cable bill on Friday. I'm like, I'm paying $100 for this. I don't watch it outside of probably the news or whatnot and my sports. But I could get all this on the streaming. Long story short, folks, your boy done canceled it and had a great weekend watching his favorite programs on that. Why do I share this with you? Because we're going to get into a conversation about what we can do to change our habits to improve Bermuda, right? I say this in the year 2024. With the subscriptions available and affordable to, if you're paying cable, they're affordable. Why are we still paying a cable bill? So on that survey, do you have cable TV? 82.8% people of 58 that voted said no, and 17.2% said yes, they still have cable. So a large majority. So who's keeping the cable companies in business? Who's keeping them in business? We've got good morning to you as well, Suzanne Ingham. She says, happy Monday, Jamal. Awesome day. It's freezing. Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw says, good morning, beautiful people. Have a beautiful day. You as well, Marcia. So what did you do this weekend? We have Suzanne Ingham says, I did my utmost to stay out of the icy cold weather. Oh, you Bermudians have reacted. Travel and Trotty says no. So I'm guessing she doesn't watch the NFL or doesn't have cable. Kathy Rogers says, yes, a lot of NFL watched all weekend, even though my team is out. You sound like a Steelers fan or Cowboys fan. Stacey Ann Brown says, nope, no cable. Lauren Darrell says, no cable. Suzanne Ingham says, no, haven't had cable for 6 years. Can't say I miss it. Charles H. Jefferson II says, I watch it, but not with as much enthusiasm as when the Eagles were still in it. I'm hoping for a Ravens-Lions Super Bowl. And Kathy Rogers says, no cable. Let's see what anyone on Instagram is saying. Nope, no comments on Instagram. But folks, you on Instagram, I'll do my best to read comments if you have any. So don't feel left out. Look at that. Kathy Rogers, I guess, Steelers. She's a Steelers fan. And no cable. Zamari Hartman says, cable does not really offer newer programs while privatized owned movie streaming apps can have the license to upload newer TV series. Cable is overpriced now to make up for the fewer viewers they have now. All right, folks. I haven't even brought Maya in to see what's trending, but before we do that, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as we're going to discuss what changes the community can make to help improve Bermuda, because that retail report, we're going to touch on that. The Daily Play is a Who Said It, and do not forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Let's bring Maya Palacio in to see what's trending, and then we'll get into today's conversation. Maya, greetings, madam. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning. Feeling good. You know, I love a little Monday.
Yeah. Mondays are our favorite day of the week when you do what we do, right?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. Thank you for not watching the NFL, so we can't, have a chat. But I didn't really watch it growing up in Bermuda, but it happens.
I was gonna say I only ever watch like American football when it's in a movie.
Okay. But I must ask you though, before you get into telling us what's trending, Do you have cable?
No.
So, like, folks, when I speak with Maya and Amber, like, I honestly can't get through a conversation without feeling owed for something that I do. Like, they could be walking me through something on Instagram. I'm like, all right, you ain't gotta make me feel it. So basically, am I archaic for even having cable up until Friday?
I mean, I haven't had
Just trying not to judge me, folks.
once it's in your household, I feel like it's in your household for a long time. You don't really get rid of it. But since I moved out from being home, like kind of, I don't even know how to explain. Maybe after university or whatever, I didn't bother even getting cable. I was like, what's the point? Like I can watch the news on YouTube. I can, watch any movie that I want on Netflix, or some of my friends like no good streaming places to get things. So it's like I don't I don't need it.
Well, folks, I guess I'm one of very few who still had it. No more, but you know how it goes. What's trending, Maya? What you got?
Well, good morning, everyone. What's trending in the news today was teens did collide in a traffic collision over the weekend. West End Properties and Gen Con kick off renovations at Fairmont Southampton. The murder trial for Osaji Bascom is set to continue today, and also Bermudians win gold in Toronto Jiu-Jitsu match.
Oh, nice. And I saw some footage on your Instagram, the jiu-jitsu. I'm like, man, I even commented. I put like the fire thing and the hands. See, I'm getting there, you know.
You just noticed everyone else put emojis, so Jamal was like, I'm gonna put emojis too.
I did. But I'm getting there, folks. Look. I'm gonna be using my thing. You know, I spoke to Amber yesterday. I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. But Maya, before you go, I have a jokey joke.
Oh, man, I knew this is exactly why you want me to come in for highlights.
No, I just thought of it. Audience, do you want a joke or not? Do you want a joke? While the audience answers, Charles A. Chef second, he's asking, not even the Super Bowl, Maya? You don't watch the Super Bowl?
I really don't. Like I don't. I catch up with everything afterwards. Like I'll look at all the highlights in it, but the day of watching it, I've never been invited to a Super Bowl party or anything like that. Never had too many American friends. So it's just like, I guess it's not really my thing, but I'll check it out and look at the highlights. I'm always impressed by athletes, but that sport has never captured me.
Well, Maya, I'm inviting you to my Super Bowl party, okay?
Okay, Jamal.
Suzanne Hingham says, I love you here, Maya. Happy Monday. Have an awesome day, Maya. You know what's crazy? Before we came on, I asked Maya, so how do you do that with your hair? As if I have hair to do that. But I was just fascinated. I'm like, how the heck does she go from... Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. It's joke time, folks. Here you go. This your Monday morning pickup. You ready, Maya?
As ready as I ever can be, Jamal.
All right, here we go. Maya, what do you give a dog with a fever?
What do I give a dog with a fever? I hope it doesn't have to do anything with like a bone pun, but go on.
Maya, what do you give a dog with a fever? Ready? Mustard. It's the best thing for a hot dog.
I get it. That one was actually kind of funny. I would actually give you that one.
Oh, stop it. Maya, go get ready for the news. Folks, I need some water after that one. Woo! What can I say? Stop it. Thank you. That's your joke of the morning, folks. That's your joke. Do you feel better? Did that help you get ready for Monday? All right, we've got to have a serious conversation. We haven't even gotten into the conversation this morning. What are you... thank you, Karen Simmons. What are you talking about, Zamari? You know you laughed. Seriously, yeah, hot dog. That was hilarious. I think, look, you know the barometer. If we can shift Maya and Sencha, you know it's funny. All right. Yeah. So let's get into the conversation. So, folks, real quickly, I don't know if you've seen our good friends at the Royal Gazette, but they had this headline. It said retail sales fall for 8th month in 9. All right. Concerning. And it basically says the decline was the 13th such year-over-year drop in 15 months. So retail sales volume in Bermuda fell for the 8th month in the past 9 in August, decreasing by 3.4% year over year, according to figures released by the Ministry of Economy and Labor. So the August figure was determined after adjusting for the retail sales rate of inflation, which was measured at 3.9% that month. So just a bit more details. In value terms, retail sales increased to an estimate of 100 million, which represented a 0.4% increase in sales year to year. 6 of the 7 sectors recorded year-over-year volume index decreases in August 23. So where did we do well? Where did we not? So the sales volume for building material stores decreased 7.9%. Sales volumes at apparel stores declined 4.3%. And all other store type sectors, comprising stores selling household items, furniture, appliances, electronics, pharmaceuticals, and tourist-related goods, there was a 7.5% decrease in sales volumes. Service station sales volumes increased, that's like gas stations, 2.9% year over year. Selected overseas declarations decreased 19.2% compared with August 2022. And imports via courier decreased 5.8 million to 11.8 million. The decrease was attributed to the lower importations of printed books, newspapers, pictures, and other products of the printing industry, manuscripts, typescripts, and plans. So they do have this graph there that I believe July 2023 was the only month in the last 8 as of August 2023 where there was up, which makes sense with cut match coming up around that time, people spending a bit more and the like. But this is concerning. This is concerning. And the question of the morning, very simple. Well, first, before we get into the question real quickly, have you made a big purchase in Bermuda in the last year? Like when I say big purchase, car, furniture, electronics, have you made a big purchase? Have you made a big purchase in the last year in Bermuda? Yes or no? Have you made a big purchase? What you got? Like, have you made, I mean, for me personally, obviously not living in Bermuda, I haven't made a big purchase. I did purchase a bedroom set and a television over the last 12 months. But have you made a big purchase? Have you purchased anything in Bermuda over the last 12 months? Traveling Trotty, well, Suzanne Ingham says no. Traveling Trotty says no. Lauren Darrell says no. Rosalda Severin says nope. This is not good for our economy, but if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not a mathematician, I'm not a politician, and I'm not a financier, but if no one's spending, right? I believe that if people were not spending and they were holding on to their money and not making purchases, right? Isn't that kind of one of the definitions of a recession? Seriously, I'm literally asking innocently. Is that not the definition, like one of the definitions of the recession, if people are not spending, if they're holding on to their money because they basically don't trust the economy? And let us know, audience, have you made a big purchase in the like car, furniture, electronics, anything? Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw says yes, she's made a purchase. And then Suzanne Ingham says yes, recession. That is the sign of a recession if people are not spending. So the question of the morning is, what can we do to drive retail sales up in Bermuda? Like, what can we do? Like, if I'm going to use, she's public about it. Traveling Trotty said that no, she hasn't made a big purchase in the last year. But we all know Traveling Trotty, she takes these wonderful trips, experiences, right? So how she chooses to spend her money is on life experiences, maybe not things, right? How can we encourage maybe a Traveling Trotty to have these experiences in Bermuda? Maybe in that, as Maya just mentioned, that hotel that they just broke ground in, or the Lauren, or Rosewood Talkers Point, or Hamilton Princess. How can we get that money spent in Bermuda? How can we get that money spent in Bermuda? And that goes to the conversation is changing our habits to help improve Bermuda. Like, what can we do? Marquita Lee says yes. So I'm thinking that's the question of the recession. Kia Renee BDA says yes, recession. Yeah, again, I'm no genius. I'm far from it, but I'm pretty sure recession is when people pull their dollars back, right? And if that's the case, I'm a bit concerned for Bermuda. We've got, oh, sorry, I've missed a few comments on Instagram. We've got some no's, nah. So I guess this is people who haven't made a purchase. City Town Crier BDA, the Town Crier says he had a staycation at Pompano Beach, Bermuda. So that's great. Zamari Hartman says, cost of living maybe, but you'll have to break it down more. It's not as simple as just a decline in population, lack of resources, lack of opportunity within the youth, taxes on locals instead of exempt companies. There are just some. Isabella Hall says, my daughter bought a car. Well, this is great, right? This is great. Purchasing, making a big purchase in Bermuda. Suzanne Ingham says, the cost of living must be more reasonable and affordable. And Sancha Dorma, our colleague, she says, someone is spending because I went to purchase a washer and dryer in December and everywhere was sold out. Really, Sancha? Well, you know what, Sancha? Could it be volume, though? Could it be that these companies know that people are not spending in Bermuda, so they're only bringing in so many? So versus bringing in 30 washers and dryers, they only bought in 10, right? Economics, supply and demand, could be. They're the business people. Let's think of the layoffs. Our title sponsor, the Bermuda, BAC Group, they laid off 19 people, I believe, in December, right? Well, these numbers, right? Remember what I read from the Royal Gazette just now. The sales volume for building material stores decreased 7.9%. Well, if less people are buying from these stores, then it only makes sense that they're going to lay people off, correct? So it goes hand in hand. Building materials. Traveling Trotty says, I do Bermuda activities on a regular basis. I did a restaurant week on Friday. So see, she's doing her part. She's doing her part. And we all have a part to play. We all have a part to play. And our habits, and believe it or not, look, we have some very honest conversations on this show, right? Very honest conversations. At this point, we've all got to agree. We just don't have a competent government that's going to lead us into a place of prosperity. We've got to admit that. And if we're honest about that, then we know that it's on us, each and every one of us, to play a role, even if that means changing our habits a bit. I've made it a personal and professional promise and pledge for myself that if I'm flying direct between Bermuda and Florida, I will use Bermuda Air. The Bermudians working there. Bermuda doesn't have many airlines as it once did. I want that to succeed for all of us. They're using Bermudian vendors. Bermuda benefits if this wins. What is a habit that you have, maybe, or something you do that can change the fortunes of Bermuda's economy, knowing that it seems like we just don't have any luck? Now, as I've been told from some in the IB sector, there may be a cash windfall from this corporate tax in the next few years. Obviously, we've got kids in the candy store running the government who are just going to be putting their hands in that cookie jar. You know how they have their hands in the empty cookie jar right now. Our hope is that we have responsible, fiscally responsible people who are guarding and guiding our economy by that point. Suzanne Ingham said, this is to you, Sancha. Joshua Bates has washers. They are advertising them. Oh, we just gave them free advertisement on this show. You better tell them hit us up, pay us for that. Traveling Trotty says, how many of the decreases are because fewer people on island? I know Rick Olson mentioned that earlier. He says cost of living has gone up everywhere. Plus, we are directly hit with the ever-climbing shipping costs. Well, remember we spoke about the population a couple of weeks ago. Well, maybe we didn't, but it was definitely in the news. And I just want to say this. I'm not trying to be a pessimist or a skeptic, but I just don't believe what the government shared with us. You know how you all say whenever David Byrd or Wayne Keynes open their mouths, you just find it hard to believe anything they're saying? That's almost how I feel whenever I see a government press release. Like, I don't think I believe any of this. And it's not because I don't like them. It's simply because they've created a space where it's hard to believe them. Media Maya says two of my close friends actually bought brand new cars about 3 months ago, so they're adding to the economy. We're going to bring Maya in for the daily. We have the extended news break, folks, so don't go anywhere. We're going to continue this conversation. She's got a lot of news for us on this Monday, so do us a favor. If you haven't already, do us a big favor. Whatever platform you are tuned in on, give us a like, a love. Make sure you follow us on whatever platform. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the join button. But also share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, and ensure that they're not missing out on what we believe are Bermuda's most important community conversations. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for your daily hour news break. And yeah, it's Monday, so expect a lot of information to digest.
Oh, good morning. Good morning again, Jamal.
Greetings, MP. How are you? So I just saw on Instagram you had some friends that purchased cars, huh?
Yes, it just caught my mind. We were talking conversation because I was like, I haven't made any majorly big purchases, and I'm a big thrifter, so furniture, utility, whatever, I'm gonna go to a thrift store first. But yeah, I remember that two of my close friends actually did buy brand new cars about 3 months ago, and they were actually looking for secondhand at first, but they realized that it cost almost the exact same, so they just went ahead and got a brand new car.
You are like one of the most resourceful people. I mean, folks, Maya and I can be discussing like new cameras or something. Maya would go on Facebook Marketplace, find a nice camera. Like she legit has taught me some things. Like, Jamal, it doesn't always have to be brand new if it's going to work. If it's going to be what we need.
Shout out to my mama.
She's real about it, folks. She's real about it. As far as driving retail sales up, it's very concerning. And as I said, I bought a TV in the last year. I bought a bedroom set. But I want to say this about big purchases, folks. I don't think that we should purchase things just to purchase them. I want to make that clear. I don't think you go ahead and spend money just to say, I'm contributing to my economy or my country or my community. It should be as needed, right? Mm-hmm. And my hope is like what Maya just said, like, there are people who may sell things. Are we recording that kind of stuff? I do wonder, because those are still purchases being made. There's money being exchanged, right? So if Maya's leaving Bermuda and decides to sell some TVs, sell a car, a bike, are we recording this stuff? Check it out. What you got for us in the news, Maya?
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. As mentioned in the highlights this morning, there was a collision that happened on the 20th. So let's hear the latest from that update on that story. Two females were injured in a road traffic collision, which occurred shortly before 6:45 p.m. on Saturday, January the 20th. The incident took place on North Shore Road near the junction with Radnor Road, Hamilton Parish. Reports are a 19-year-old female motorcyclist was traveling west along North Shore Road when, upon reaching a pedestrian crossing just east of Radnor Road, was in collision with a 17-year-old female pedestrian who was attempting to cross the roadway. The pedestrian did not suffer any visible injuries but complained of pain in her arm and back. The motorcycle rider appeared to have suffered a dislocated shoulder. They were both transported by ambulance to the hospital. This matter is now under investigation, and anyone with information is asked to call the road policing unit on 247-1788 or the main police number at 295-0011.
That's so sad, and seems everyone will be okay, but that's terrible.
Yeah, I guess this would be like the first pedestrian incident of the year. I recall in 2023, we had a couple of, collisions where it did occur with a pedestrian, just someone just, walking the street. So something definitely to look out for. Don't want to say it's a trend, but it's something that I definitely have reported before.
Indeed.
In other news, West End Properties and the managing partner, Gencom, have announced an update on the preliminary work being carried out at the Fairmont Southampton property in preparation for the extensive renovations planned for the site. They say these early phases of demolition and site preparation are crucial to enabling the complete overhaul of the resort to move forward. Now, Bermudian companies BCM Construction Limited and In Silicon Maintenance Limited are to assist with the initial stages of the Fairmont Southampton renovations. John Huggin, the SVP Architecture and Construction at Gencom, said, "We are at a critical juncture in the construction process, and having local talent on board is invaluable to make sure all the necessary preliminary work is done right." They went on to just talk about the site as well as, the time framing, which they don't quite have just yet as to like when everything's going to be established and done. They said in the coming weeks, they'll keep us updated.
Audience, I have this question for the audience real quickly on that story. I think one of the challenges in Bermuda is whenever there's these big projects that governments basically promising and telling us stuff, we always ask ourselves, okay, I'm not going to believe it until I see shovels in the ground. Now, there's a piece of land where a Ritz-Carlton was supposed to be built up the old annex up there in Southampton, where they started building these fractional units. And I just want to ask the audience, yes or no, does this development at Fairmont Southampton give you confidence that a project will be completed and the hotel open? Yes or no? Do you have confidence that this project is about to begin and have that hotel open soon? Yes or no? Because we've seen this happen. Again, there are fractional units that were being built. You can look up at the structures up there in Southampton, and then all of a sudden, nothing. Are you confident, audience?
What is your definition of soon, Jamal?
Oh, this is Maya. I'm glad you asked, because we were given a deadline of 2022 or 3 at first, and then 24. When I say soon, that hotel opened by 2025.
That's not. No.
Okay. Looks like the audience is saying no. Suzanne Ingham says no. Adeline Swan says no. So I hope that it does give people confidence, but recent history says don't be a fool.
We'll definitely keep everyone updated on that time frame. I'm very curious as well. Same with the CCTV camera time framing. I'm also curious to know when that's going to come about as well, as they have initially gone through their stages as well, the first stage. Well, coming in from the World Gazette, actually, Jerome Lynch, who was defending Raheem Ray, the man accused and charged of the murder of Osagie Bascom, says that his client was, quote, the wrong man, and that Mr. Ray's friend, Janaze Swan, was, quote, probably the real culprit. Now, turning to the police investigation, Mr. Lynch said that the detectives failed to track down the car that Janaze Swan drove to and from Fun Zone, despite the only road out of St. David's being monitored by CCTV cameras. He said, quote, "Are you telling me that good police work could not identify the car?" The Gazette writes that Janaze Swan, Mr. Swan, was identified by one independent witness as the man involved in the initial fight with Mr. Bascom, and Mr. Lynch also pointed out that Mr. Swan left the island last year and his whereabouts are not known. Now, the trial is scheduled to resume today, when the jury is expected to start its deliberations.
That's such an unfortunate, and it's always unfortunate. You don't want to see people losing lives, especially our young Black men, but we just finished a murder trial involving the late Chevelle Dillon Burgess, and now this, and it's so heavy. It's so heavy in a small community, and I don't think we realize. I watch Dateline in 2020 often, and it's usually cases in Middle America in these small towns who literally, they always say, we don't have crime in this town. It's only 60,000 people, and I'm just thinking, Bermuda's 60,000 people, and we have these kind of crimes regularly.
Yeah, and even more unfortunate, just the ages, of Chevelle and of Osagie. Like it's really sad, and something else to point out that was actually put in. And please, if you want to read the full story, go to the World Gazette. But there was another mention that there was 83 partygoers whose names are on that list. So this is during the COVID pandemic, and so people had to write the names and contact numbers. So police had that, but despite efforts to contact these potential witnesses, only one woman was willing to come forward and testify. So during his closing statement yesterday, Mr. Lynch actually condemned that attitude. And he said there was clearly many witnesses at Fun Zone. 83 names demonstrated that there was a considerable number of people there, but only one came forward. It's a tragedy to the family and the country that no one was prepared to come forward. Is this where we have gotten to, this code of silence that has permanently come on to our society. Imagine if there had been 10 or 15 witnesses. And he closed by saying, have we got to the point where being a snitch is seen as worse than being a killer?
Have we got to the point? We've been to that point. We're past that point, if we're honest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfortunate.
On other news, I know we mentioned this already this morning, we had to talk about it, but August volumes of retail sales did decrease by 3.4% compared to last year. Again, we talked about the sales that have fallen. Again, food sales, 1.5%, they fell. Liquor sales actually fell 1.9%. Motor vehicle sales fell at 20.2%, and the sales for apparel declined at 4.3%. Again, you could actually go and find that full list on gov.bm as well to see the entirety of the retail sales.
Yeah, check it out, folks. Check it out.
Now, you know, I'd love to close it off with some sports, and I'm really happy that I was able to actually be out here to capture some of Bermuda's open mat jiu-jitsu team. So Open Mat Bermuda is competing and did compete over the weekend at the Grappling Industries Jiu-Jitsu competition in Toronto, and Bermuda's Ashley Dyer secured 2 gold medals and moved up a belt in her level, and I had the chance to speak to her on the day. So here's a quick clip and some action for you to view.
I got 3 wins and all the other people didn't get any points, and it was kind of crazy. So it felt really good and really powerful that I kind of got there really easily. It was really good. And it was definitely a lot smoother than last year because I was only 6 months in, but this felt like a lot better. I had more pressure and control than I did last year.
I enjoyed the footage you captured of that, and I'm happy to see Bermudians excelling in spaces. And this is no shot at it, but outside of just football and cricket traditionally, as we've always highlighted.
Mm-hmm. And I actually asked the coach, who's actually her father, Aaron Dyer, who actually is also the owner of Open Mat, about like how well Bermuda does in these type of competitions with jiu-jitsu. You would recall that I did mention on the show about some gold medals that were won at the Worlds for jiu-jitsu as well, for one of their own players on the team. But it was incredible how well we do as such a small country when you see everyone else have like fleets of numbers of people coming in to compete, and yet we're here racking up gold. As you heard Ashley Dyer say, like, no one even scored a point against her when she was competing, and she's only been competing for less than 2 years. Hasn't been a while. So I went ahead and I asked the coach some questions about that.
It feels great. I mean, we're just a small little rock in the middle of the ocean, right? And 50 athletes. Most of these teams have like hundreds of athletes on their competition list. So for us, we come here with maybe 10 athletes and rake up gold. We're doing amazing.
That's what I was thinking. Because like, what do you think sets you apart in that way to do so well?
I think we're closer, like closer knit, because we're a small team. So you're getting taught by black belts. Where a lot of teams out here are getting taught by purple belts, brown belts. So I think we're real hands-on. I think that's what makes the difference.
Maya, I wonder how much they charge for bodyguard services. I'm just saying, like, nobody scored a point against her, and that's her father. I mean, gee.
It was incredible. It was incredible to watch, incredible to be there in the space. You can obviously follow them on the socials, Open Mat Bermuda, and kind of just get into the world jiu-jitsu on the island, because they are doing very well, and they will just go straight to the Pan Am Games as well. I got to speak to them about like how far they can go in their competition ranks. We're looking to check to see if it's actually in the Olympics. I didn't verify that, but he believes that it's not at the moment, but it could be potentially in the next coming year. So that's amazing for the team. All right, so
do you know how to do like jiu-jitsu? Do you know how to fight?
Jamal, my knee, I could have done so much if my ACL didn't tear, but I'll stick to field hockey.
Oh, I've heard your coaches brag about you, but yeah, we'll leave that alone today.
Maybe one day I'll get on the mat, but I'm very I've now seen what it takes, and it's a bit much for me. Now, moving on to the weather today, we got sunny periods with a couple of morning showers around. So again, if you're on that bike, just make sure you're covered up, make sure you're secure. Don't go fast, everyone. Just take your time on these roads. We've got a couple of showers as well, and a little bit of gust of winds early on, and a high of 62 degrees Fahrenheit today on the island.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Maya. Before we get to the days of the year, Charles H. Jeffs II, he says also in sports news, Bermuda connected Antonio Pierce was named head coach of the NFL's Las Vegas Raiders. There are only 32 of them. Here's what's interesting. I know Bermuda loves to claim people, right? And his father, I guess, is Bermudian. But I'm going to be honest, man. Once I saw Suge Knight, if you know Suge Knight, folks, biggest dog if there ever was one. And I'm like, ain't he in prison for something? Anyway, I saw him tweet, congratulations to Compton's Antonio Paris. I was like, all right, should I say it publicly? Because I don't want to be labeled. You know, you don't go where Suge Knight goes, folks. But all that to say, congratulations to him. And my only hope, and folks, I'll say this loudly, clearly, and it's not meant to be offensive, but my greatest concern with Black coaches in sports, especially in the United States sports, is they never really get the great opportunities. I hope this is a great opportunity and not a one done and out. I hope that they have the pieces for him to be successful, or at least give him the opportunity to be successful. Mm-hmm. But I speak for many. When you see Bermudian connected people doing these things beyond Bermuda, you want to do nothing but cheer for them and celebrate them. So congratulations to him, his family, and all the best to the Raiders next season.
Definitely. And also, just one more thing in the sport, Sha'Carri Famous did actually win another victory at high jump at the Sanford Invitations in Birmingham, Alabama. Sha'Carri Famous is a high jumper from Bermuda, and she's doing amazing as well.
Congrats to Miss Sha'Carri Famous. There you go. All right, so days of the year. Folks, this is a fun one. Today's day of the year, it's Hot Sauce Day, Maya. Hot Sauce Day. Do you like hot sauce, Maya?
No, but I have a friend of mine who's kind of obsessed with it, so it's really funny, and I'm going to message her afterwards.
Yeah, man, I love hot sauce. Like, I have about 12 different hot sauces in my cabinet. Folks, what is your favorite flavor of hot sauce? Like, do you like hot sauce? But it's Hot Sauce Day, and so there are so many different types. So how do you celebrate Hot Sauce Day? Well, you put some hot sauce on something, obviously. So you've got, the salsa picante, Texas Pete. Tabasco is like the one that you see in all of the stores, right? You've got Louisiana hot sauce original, French red hot. That's what they use for the wings. You've got Crystal, Cholula, and also Sriracha. Sriracha is very popular. But you know what my favorite kind of hot sauce is, Maya? Mm. My favorite kind of hot sauce is either some Jamaican Scotch bonnet.
Heard it, yeah.
Or that yellow Bajan one from Barbados. Those are my favorite two hot sauces.
Okay. I do recall people talking about some Bermudian hot sauces that are made on the show last week. So I can't remember what it was. I think it was like pepper jam or something.
Yeah, you've got some pepper jam, and I haven't had that. I've had the Otter Bridges hot sauce, but folks, let us know what your favorite hot sauce is. We're going to take a quick break. We'll get back to the conversation about, retail, and Maya said it. Look, retail slumped in August. That was the 8th time in 9 months. So we'll talk about it and come back. So Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
All right, Maya Palacio. Folks, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after this short message. Stick with us.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Shout out to my colleagues again. I know that this, as the lady in the ER nurse said to me last week, this is definitely not flu season, but sick season. So just when everyone take care of themselves, extra precautions. Don't let anyone shame you for doing what's needed to protect yourself and your family. Drink lots of water and fluids, and try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, but do your best to keep yourself and your family safe. We've got hot sauce. Janet Maynard says, love hot sauce. Yeah, Jamel. And we've got Suzanne Ingham says, hot sauce for me is great. Tabasco is going to be, I just love tikka masala. Bermuda hot spicy hams are awesome. And then we've got Janet Maynard. I get the one made by Baron that is similar to Bayesian hot sauce. Yes, I've had that one as well. I just want to go back a bit because Sancha Durham, she says, 2025, Jamal, please stop it. And then Charles H. Jefferson, no for 2025. I think the earliest is late 2026, but more likely 2027. And that's related to the Fairmont Southampton. But we were talking earlier about the economy and, retail. And the question was, what can we do to drive retail sales up in Bermuda? And we got a couple of comments that I want to just go back to. And Rick Olson, he said, eliminate duty for retailers only and impose a sales tax instead. Interesting. What are your thoughts on a sales tax, folks? I've always, and I don't like taxes. I don't like the idea of taxing people. But I do think that luxury should be taxed. If we're going to tax anything, luxury should be taxed. Renee Simmons said, they are not bringing in as much merchandise because most are buying online. Also, people are holding on to their cash because of this CBDC being launched. What's that? I think possibly, Scott. What's CBDC? You all know how to do well with acronyms. You got to spell stuff out for me. We've got Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, this past weekend, I needed a blender and I went to a show sponsor, People's Pharmacy, to make that purchase by Bermuda. You know, we appreciate you, Mark. And I know that you do send us many messages about not only supporting our partners of this show, but even guests to come on the show. You're very good at that. And if I could do anything, encourage the audience to do anything, I would tell you to do this. Without our partners, we won't be able to do this show. So if there's a partner or even a guest that's on this show that has products or services that you believe you can benefit from, get out there, support them. Support them. They are part of us. Let's build those relationships. What can we do to drive retail sales up in Bermuda? What are your thoughts? What are we, again, it's not about making big purchases, as we spoke earlier. You don't necessarily have to purchase a car or furniture, or, as Mark Arthur C. Phillips just said, a blender, right? But it makes you believe, that old example, and I've said it on this show before some years ago, is they spoke about how money circulates, right? And they named different groups, how money circulates in one group 20 times before it leaves. And then it circulates in another group 10 times, and then 5 times. And then, not obviously, but the lowest group was Black people. How money only circulated in the Black community once or twice. That's how Bermuda needs to start looking at this. You need to make your money circulate in your economy, because at that point, it's beneficial. Simone Smith says, we need more people to assist with driving sales. Very simple, population size is down. And as was stated earlier, we know this, right? And we've had numerous conversations on this show is, how do we increase our population? We know that. As I stated to you, I believe nothing that the government really puts out. I mean, I'm taking even this retail sales thing with a grain of salt, because it could potentially be worse than what they're sharing with us. But they gave us some numbers about the population recently. And again, maybe I'm a pessimist, maybe I'm skeptical, but we have reason to be. And I'm thinking we've lost way more people than what was shared back then. Renee Simmons says, central bank digital currency. There is an audio going viral a few months ago alerting people to hold on to their cash. Could be, just saying. Okay, interesting. Suzanne Ingham says central bank digital currency. It's a digital ID where they control your money and most are not for it. Thank you. Thank you all for explaining the acronym. I keep telling you I'm not the smartest one amongst the crew. So appreciate you. But are people holding on to their money? Because again, that would be the definition, or at least one of them, of a recession. If people are just not spending. We asked earlier on in this show, has anyone purchased anything like a TV or furniture or an automobile, right? How about even electronics, a phone, a computer? And everyone who answered pretty much said no. I think there were 2 yeses. So have we lost confidence in the economy? Are we holding on to our cash in Bermuda? I mean, I personally can't hold on to what I don't have. So I might be a bit different from you all. Let's take a quick break. We're going to do the daily play when we come back. And Kia Vernay BDA says, if so, secondhand, if she's made a purchase, if so, secondhand. Let's take our final break. Come back. We're going to do a daily play. You know how it goes. If you get the answer correct, you'll be put in a draw for the end of the week. So stick with us. If you get it right, you'll be eligible to win something on Friday. So let's see who's got the juice. And it's a who said it. So you have to guess the author of this quote.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top-quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you'll look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. If you've appreciated today's discussion, the news break, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, regardless of what platform you're tuned in on. Make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just want to touch on this before we go to the daily play. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, I keep hearing that our population is dumb, but until we know exactly how much, we can address the foundational issues. Again, I guess Charles doesn't believe the information that was shared. But what I found interesting is, you know, the PLP's henchman, I'm going to call him Chris Famous, MP Famous. It's just so interesting how he just tries to justify something, because I'm pretty sure, and correct me if I'm wrong, he shared some information on social media recently showing that, oh, it's not just Bermuda who's got population issues. He's right. But that shouldn't be an issue to ignore Bermuda's population issue. It's almost like, yeah, we have this issue, but so does everyone else. Yeah, we have a murder issue, but so does this country. Are you like something not right up top? Just because someone else has the same issue doesn't mean that, okay, we just leave it alone. We're competing. We need to find a way to fix it. My hope is that, you know, we've reached the lowest of lowest as far as we can go when it comes to governance, and it's only up from here, because that is some of the most ridiculous stuff, and it's coming from an elected member of parliament. All right, it's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, are you ready? Are you ready? The first person to guess this answer correctly will be eligible for a prize at the end of the week. All right, that would be Friday's show. All right, here we go. Quote, hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. End quote. Who said that? All righty. We don't have any correct answers, so doesn't look like anyone's going to be eligible. We've got Stacey Ann Brown said Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., close but no cigar. We got Joanne Trott said Nelson Mandela, close, no. Sherilyn Johnson said MLK, close but no cigar. Suzanne Ingham says, I don't know who said it, but it's the truth. Well, you know what? Someone got it, so we're going to give it to him. It's not Nelson Mandela. It's not Malcolm X or Renee Simmons. It is the mother of the civil rights movement, one of them at least, Kia Renee BDA. It is Coretta Scott King, the wife of Dr. Martin Luther King. So how'd you guess that, Kia Renee BDA? That was pretty good. Very good. Let's give her a round of applause, folks. Give her a round of applause. That was very good. Very good. All right. Stop. Okay. She just got one answer. All right, folks. Let's wrap it up. But I want to say this, that our country and our economy is only going to be as strong as the people in it and the people who support it. Regardless of who's government, and I'm not making excuses for the incompetence that is the government of the day, we have a role to play in how successful or not our economy and our community is. If we're not spending money in our economy, then that impacts so many things. The idea of our population has come up. We've had numerous conversations on this show about how we can, number one, not just get more numbers, more people, increase our population. How can we get Bermudians back to Bermuda? How can we get the best of the best into Bermuda? For years, we've spent so much time chasing people out of Bermuda, both locals and non-Bermudians. Now we've got to reverse that. I'll tell you what, it's easy to lose people, but it's so much harder to convince them to come back. Something to think on. Your daily inspiration is going to be that quote that I read to you by Miss Coretta Scott King, and it is, hate is too great a burden to bear. It injures the hater more than it injures the hated. So think about that as you go about your day, folks. Again, if you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. And do not forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. I am out. Peace.